Kiri is one of the most popular and mysterious characters in Avatar: The Way of Water. Kiri has become a favorite character among many Avatar fans, from her miraculous birth, unique appearance, magical powers, and profound connection with Aywa. Today, we will explain Kiri's character's origins, birth mystery, personality and clothing, magical powers, relationship with her mother Grace and Aywa, friendship with the spider, and relationship with her adoptive parents in the most detailed way possible. 1. The origin of the character Kiri. Sigourney Weaver, who played Kiri in the film. She became friends with Avatar director James Cameron during the filming of Alien in 1985. Cameron was so impressed with Weaver's performance as Dr. Grace Augustine during her audition that he rewrote the script for Avatar, combining two different characters into Grace Augustine. In Avatar, Grace is shot by Colonel Quaritch, leading to her death. However, Cameron was so fascinated by Weaver's talent that he was determined to bring her back into the world of Avatar. The question was how to bring Weaver back to Pandora. Cameron's genius mind quickly came up with the image of a teenage girl named Kiri. Cameron and Weaver had a meeting in Los Angeles about the Kiri character. Cameron mentioned this character who was related to Grace, and they began discussing this forest girl, a girl who was more comfortable with animals and plants in the forest than with people. Weaver was immediately fascinated by this unique character. In an interview, she added, "James was so crazy that he wanted to mold me into a 14-year-old child. As he said that day and several times later, that's your natural age. You're 14. You're too immature. I know you. Well, I guess if he's crazy enough to do that, I might be crazy enough to agree." Sigourney worked hard to portray Kiri in the best way possible. She even went to a high school and sat on one side of the classroom carefully listening to the voices and tones of teenagers to help her connect with her 14-year-old self. Due to the high-tech applications in the film, actors did not need makeup and only wore capture headgear and suits to capture their facial expressions and actions. Thus, the 70-year-old Weaver became the teenage Kiri full of youthfulness. Due to the face changing when a person gets older, What Company assembled photos of Sigourney Weaver as a teenager, as well as footage from some of her early movies, to give the team nuanced references to how her face moved at that age and to eventually get Kiri's facial animation just right. The success of this challenge means that the concept of acting will be changed and subverted in the future. Appearance and age are no longer barriers to shaping characters, and actors will have greater space and freedom to perform. 2. Kiri's birth mystery.
Why am I different? What does the Great Mother want from me? Who was my father?
Kiri's origin is one of the biggest mysteries in the Avatar universe. Jake and Neytiri are Kiri's adoptive parents and treat her as one of their children. But they don't even know what caused Grace's pregnancy and mention that Kiri's birth is a complete mystery. One thing we can be certain of is that Kiri was born from Grace's Avatar body. As early as 2154, Grace was unfortunately shot by Colonel Quaritch. The Na'vi spiritual leader, the priestess Moat, attempted to transfer Grace's consciousness from her human body to her Avatar body. In the process, Grace's consciousness needed to pass through Aywa's eyes. Aywa is the deity that the Na'vi believe in, who created and controls all life on Pandora. However, Grace was too weak at the time, so her consciousness remained in Aywa, and couldn't return to her Avatar body. So, Grace's Avatar body remained in a vegetative state. Then, miraculously, this body became pregnant, and Kiri was born in 2155. The first explanation for Kiri's birth is that Kiri is the Avatar of Grace. Cameron explained, "She is the Avatar born of Grace. It's a natural birth, but the Avatar brain dies, and she doesn't. She is normal." In Na'vi culture, unlike Earth, there is a very clear life cycle consciousness, similar to the concept of reincarnation. This consciousness comes from Aywa, who controls all life, the souls of all things, and these souls are a kind of flowing energy. In Avatar, Neytiri killed 3 viper wolves to save Jake, and later Jake found 3 young viper wolves in the same jungle. For example, when Jake shot a hexapede, he ended its life, and it reincarnated as a toy for children. Another explanation is that she is the incarnation of Aywa. When Kiri was born, she was a unique Na'vi with 5 fingers and toes, while normal Na'vi only have 4. This design is inspired by traditional Chinese culture and folklore, where children born with an extra finger or toe, or 2, are seen as a sign of the appearance of a Buddha or Bodhisattva. This key design implies that Kiri is actually a divine incarnation. The meaning of Kiri's name, key person, hints at her being a soul figure born of the souls of nature and Pandora, as ki and ki have the same sound in Navi, while the suffix re comes from the Navi words mokri for sound and rina for seed. Kiri is a incarnation that has never appeared before, and is the key among the keys. She has the power of nature, can connect the tree of voices and the tree of souls, summon marine creatures and use seawater. Another explanation with a more religious connotation is that Kiri is conceived through divine inspiration like the Virgin Mary's conception of Jesus. Although the theory that Kiri may be the incarnation of Grace or Aywa sounds reasonable, many viewers have been asking who Kiri's biological father is. How did Grace become pregnant? Before her death, the spiritual leader of the Navi people, Mot, attempted to transfer Grace's soul and consciousness to her avatar. At that moment, a miracle happened between life and death. Grace said, "I'm with her, Jake. She's real." This scene is key to understanding Kiri's father, which is actually Aywa, their god, their goddess, who created and controls all life on the entire planet of Pandora. I think it's because Aywa couldn't save Grace's life on Pandora, so she created a new life for her. Kiri's special connection with Aywa, as well as her ability to communicate with Pandora's flora and fauna, seems to indicate that Aywa is what Kiri calls her father. Or, it can be said that Aywa gave Grace a daughter. When Kiri mentions her grandmother several times in the movie, it should be Aywa. 3. Kiri's human-like appearance. Kiri has human DNA in her genes, with 5 fingers, light eyebrows, smaller and more human-like eyes, hair, and nose, all of which highlight her connection to Dr. Grace. Kiri's overall facial features resemble a docile and quiet little cat, which is why some viewers mistakenly thought her name was Kitty at first. Sigourney Weaver initially objected to Kiri's design, feeling that it was too clean and attractive. She pushed for Kiri to have a more disheveled appearance and to be portrayed as a somewhat awkward teenager, noting that many girls do not feel particularly beautiful on the inside. Additionally, Kiri's design is said to bear a striking resemblance to Molly Osman. Molly Osman is a human girl in an avatar body and is first thought as a strange Navi. She wears human clothing, has an unusual physical appearance and speaks Navi language with a bizarre accent. Last, according to the Visual Dictionary, Kiri's unruly hair is the result of her exploration of the natural world. 4. Kiri's personality and traits. Unlike her adoptive parents who are warriors, Kiri doesn't possess a natural inclination toward fighting. She grew up to be very sensitive, introverted, and quiet. Even her parents often thought Kiri was awkward and strange, and not good at socializing. She is devastated when Spider is taken and when she is forced to leave the forest. So when she came to the Mikaina clan, the large number of strangers made her feel oppressed and anxious, and the discrimination eyes of the clan members made her unhappy. Kiri takes pleasure in meditating peacefully while lying in the grass of the rainforest. She also finds solace in exploring the vibrant aquatic realm, which brings her a serene sense of calm. Actually, Kiri likes to joke around and can be mischievous at times. She has an underlying sense of humor, similar to her mother Grace. When Kiri mocks others, she sticks out her tongue, which is a behavior usually displayed by human children. Kiri likes fan lizards and treats them like toys, deliberately disturbing them and watching them all fly up and spin around. Besides, Kiri is a girl with somewhat rebellious qualities, similar to her brother Loic. She once disobeyed her parents to rescue Spider, and she followed Loic, Took, and Spider on their explorations to places like the old battlefield. 5. Kiri's hobbies and interests. Kiri remains profoundly impacted by her biological mother, Grace. Similar to her mother, Kiri holds a strong fascination for botany and keeps a knife with her constantly to collect medicinal plants. She also wears her mother's medicine pouch at all times, keeping a supply of healing herbs inside in case of unforeseen circumstances. Kiri has even suggested to Moat the usage of Yalna bark for wound care due to its lessened stinging effect. Kiri's bond with the natural world surpasses that of a typical Navi as she revels in exploring new flora and fauna. During her time with the Mikaina clan, Kiri discovers solace in the vibrant and breathtaking underwater world. She loses herself for hours while observing sand holes and relishing the sensation of fish gliding by. 6. Kiri's clothing preference. Kiri's clothing style emphasizes her unique character from the very beginning. She wears a green mesh cloak, which is a symbol of the tropical rainforest. Kiri originally lived in a jungle full of greenery, so she wears green to constantly remind herself of her natural origins. Kiri also shares Grace's passion for collecting samples. She continually adds beads, feathers, stones, or other items to her clothes to represent the places she has visited or discovered, such as her anklet made up of pebbles from unexplored areas. The totemic value of Kiri's clothing represents her immediate environment, as well as her ability to adapt easily to her surroundings. As the story progresses, more and more details are added to her outfit, such as the green seaweed decoration on her chest after she had lived in the Mikaina clan for a while. Kiri's top was adorned with algae and featured a central shell that symbolized the seed from the Tree of Souls, underscoring her intimate connection to Aywa. Besides, her choice of clothing shows us how much she loves Grace. She always wears the necklace that Grace wears in Avatar. 7. Kiri's innate magical ability. Kiri is inherently connected to Aywa, the goddess of Pandora, and to all things in the Pandora, including the animals, the plants, and to the rhythm and balance of life. She can be considered gifted with a strong sense of awareness, feeling the presence and breath of Aywa. Kiri claims that she feels Aywa's breath and heartbeat so closely that she can hear them. When Kiri is connected to the Tree of Souls, the bioluminescent markings on her body light up, just like the glowing parts of the tree, emitting an exceptionally bright and dazzling light. Kiri enjoys listening to the sounds of nature and all living creatures and loves to be close to the land and various animals and plants. Similar to how Melampus in Greek mythology could understand the language of all animals. The animals are drawn to Kiri effortlessly. Kiri is resting in nature, with wood sprites, omens of Aywa, gathering around her just as they did to Jake in 2154. The spirits of the wood sprites are considered extremely pure spirits, inspired by a deep-sea jellyfish discovered during Cameron's dive. At a young age, Kiri managed to tame her banshee in an uncommon manner for the Na'vi. Rather than using a banshee catcher, she simply befriended the creature by asking it to be her friend. Upon arriving at the Mikaina clan, she quickly made friends with an Alu. When Kiri tried to explain her innate awareness of Aywa's presence to Jake, fish swarmed exclusively around her feet. Despite being born into a forest clan, Kiri was likened to a marine creature by Cameron, given her familiarity and comfort in aquatic settings, despite not being classified as a fish. While the other 3 children were still acclimating to water by mingling with the Mikaina clan's children, Kiri had already delved to greater depths. Kiri possesses the capability to exert a degree of control and influence over the natural world and her surroundings. Specifically, she is capable of manipulating marine invertebrates like anemones and bioluminescent sea creatures. During the RDA's assault on her tribe, Kiri employs her ability to command sea creatures to defend the people. Ultimately, she utilizes her power to direct a group of luminous fish to locate her mother and sister, leading them to the ocean's surface. 8. Kiri has a deep affection for her mother Grace. As previously mentioned, Kiri always wears her mother's necklace and medicine pouch. Kiri longs to have met her biological mother, Grace, before she passed away. To feel closer to her, she visits Grace's incubated avatar, seeks answers from Jake, and reads the documents and video recordings Grace left behind. However, their first and only meeting occurred while Kiri was connected to the Tree of Souls. When Kiri established a connection with the spirit tree, the luminescent patterns on her skin radiated, mimicking the vibrant luminosity of the tree. During this encounter, Dr. Augustine initially appeared in her human form before swiftly transitioning to her avatar form. Unfortunately, following a seizure that occurred while she was connected to the tree, Kiri's markings vanished entirely as she lay unconscious and caught a glimpse of her biological mother, Grace. 9. Having a friendship with Spider. Kiri is very close to Miles Spider Socorro, whom she views as akin to her brother. Spider and Kiri have been soulmates since childhood, as both are different from other Na'vi children. They became orphans because of the war, creating a unique bond between them, as orphans can understand each other better. Spider only knows his father, not his mother, and Kiri only knows her mother, not her father. Kiri calls Spider Monkey Boy, which is a somewhat funny name that refers to a person with monkey-like features. She refers to him as a brother she never had, even though she already has 2. The 2 seem to enjoy spending time together, such as when Kiri likes to help Spider paint blue paint on his skin. They also like to visit Hell's Gate and watch Jake's video logs. Although Spider doubts being part of the family, Kiri insists he is. Spider says he would rather not know who his father is. Kiri comforts him by holding him and saying, "You are different from him." Kiri becomes deeply emotional and sheds tears when Spider is abducted, and they both strive to protect each other when Neytiri and Colonel Quaritch threaten their lives. After the battle, Kiri is visibly overjoyed and relieved to witness Spider's unscathed return. As they exchange glances and smiles, their affection for each other is palpable. The final time they are observed together is at Neteyam's funeral, holding hands and displaying remarkable intimacy. 10. Relationships with other family members. As a result of Jake's previous work experiences with Grace, Kiri feels a deeper bond with her adoptive father than with her adoptive mother, Neytiri, and trusts him with her innermost thoughts and emotions. Jake reciprocates her trustiness by referring to her as baby girl and striving to comprehend her perspectives and sentiments. When Kiri falls into a coma, Jake spares no effort in seeking aid, summoning Norm and Max to the ocean and extending any assistance possible. Kiri's relationship with her adoptive father, Jake, surpasses her relationship with Neytiri. When Neytiri inquired about Kiri's feelings, Kiri struggled to open up to her and replied with a vague statement that all was well. Kiri yearned for Neytiri to be more accepting of Spider to be one real member of the family. However, she still cherished her relationship with the adoptive mother and provided solace by touching her shoulder during their encounter with the Mikaina clan. Last, Kiri rescued Neytiri and her sister from a flooding vessel. Kiri has 3 siblings, Neteyam, Loic, and Tuktiri. As Kiri and Neteyam were born around the same time, they received their initial connection to Aywa together in front of the entire clan. Although not explicitly explored, Neteyam is depicted as highly protective of his younger sister. He defends her against bullying from Aonung and his cohorts due to her differences and teams up with Loic to safeguard her. Neteyam goes to great lengths to take care of his sister, even resuscitating her mouth-to-mouth when she experiences a seizure. Following Jake's teachings, it is evident that Neteyam values his siblings' safety and well-being above all else, which ultimately leads to his tragic demise. Though Kiri's response to her brother's passing is not explicitly shown, it is possible that she mourned for him off-screen before being reunited with Spider. Kiri sometimes feels envious of Loic's close relationship with Spider, wishing she could spend more time with her friend. Despite their past competitiveness, Kiri and Loic have grown closer over time and still playfully tease each other. Both Kiri and Loic feel like outsiders in their own ways. While Loic feels undervalued and excluded from the clan, Kiri feels that her unique connection to nature sets her apart. Kiri is a caring older sister to Tuk, their only sibling. Tuk adores Kiri and looks up to her, finding everything she does and says amazing. Kiri tries to shield Tuk from teasing by their younger brother, Loic, and from the dangers posed by the RDA, as seen when she helps protect them from being kidnapped. 11. What will happen with Kiri in the future? Looking to the future, Kiri may play a crucial role in the Avatar franchise. As details about the upcoming Avatar films remain scarce, rumors suggest that Avatar 3rd may be titled Avatar, the Seed Bearer, and Kiri could be a logical choice for this role. As a connection to Aywa, the source of life on Pandora, Kiri may hold the key to saving Earth, which was depicted as dying in Avatar, the Way of Water. If Kiri were indeed the seed bearer, she could transport a seed from Aywa to Earth, bringing life back to the planet. Given that the story has shifted to focus on the younger generation, Kiri's role as the seed bearer would raise several intriguing questions for the future of the franchise. How would Kiri get to Earth, for example? Perhaps people from Earth would discover her ability and seek to bring her there as a savior. Alternatively, Kiri and her family might sneak aboard a spaceship in an attempt to save Earth and stop Pandora from being attacked. In addition to driving the plot forward, Kiri's role as the seed bearer would also tie into the franchise's overarching themes. We will stop here for today's discussion about the mysterious Kiri. If you want to continue listening to me talk about the legends of the Avatar world, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share our videos and channel. Stay tuned for more character analyses and plot breakdowns. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode.